This is going on my main story, by the
Whoever
way.
has access to the YouTube, could you delete the last live that we had that had 5?
There's 24 seconds of it.
Oh, you're right. Welcome to the B Team Sports Show, live here at the Stauffer Flint Studios here in Lawrence, Kansas. I'm Tyler Brewer, and let's meet the co-host starting over on my far left.
I'm Jack Kenna.
What's up, guys? I'm Grant.
And I'm Trevor.
And today we got a stacked show, starting with some breaking news. Now, Jack, college basketball is big with you right now. Gonzaga is one of those big college basketball teams. You want to start off with the breaking news?
Yeah, so there are a lot of reports right now that the Pac-12 will be adding Gonzaga per Brett McMurphy. Now, nothing is confirmed yet, but the idea of getting a full conference revenue share is definitely pretty appealing to Gonzaga. Brett McMurphy came out with this report pretty much saying it's confirmed, but we have had a lot of dispute by NBC Sports. Nothing is confirmed yet, of course, but the Pac-12 did get a commitment from Utah State. Trevor, we'll bounce it over to you to talk about that one.
Yeah, no, I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know where to go with it. I mean, that's just like my personal opinion. I mean,
It's different.
it's absolutely different. I don't really know like if there's. I'm still processing it personally. I don't think I really have anything to add at the moment, but I don't know.
I mean, the last time we saw a huge conference realignment, we weren't very old.
No,
So this is new for us. It's going to take some getting used to.
Yeah. I think
And
that's
the thing about the Pac-12 is it's never going to be what it was, and you already see that when apparently Memphis and some other American Association schools were approached, and they declined those deals. And it's just kind of evident that like the revenue share that the Pac-12 is going to be able to give these teams is not going to be able to compensate for the travel costs and just being across on opposite sides of the country.
Yeah.
So
You know what
that's
I
gonna
want?
be that's going to be a struggle for
Pac-12 after
Pac-12.
dark.
Pac-12 after dark. That is what I want. Those are some of the most entertaining games. They're
Right.
hard to stay awake for because it's, 1 o'clock, 12?
I mean, my
it's
schedule's
late.
cooked enough to the point where I need some nice little Pac-12
Yeah.
after
But
dark
watching
football.
some late night football is just a great way to end your Saturday.
Nothing better.
And basketball. We're not giving
Yeah.
basketball enough credit.
No,
yeah,
absolutely.
basketball is-
I'm
The
with
Pac-12
you on that.
basketball was
There-
fun to watch.
Yeah.
There would be so many nights where I'm playing poker back home with my friends, and we just had some Pac-12 basketball on the background.
had
Most of the time it
UCLA.
was USC.
Exhilarating.
USC, Arizona, Oregon. It's a little different now, but if they can secure a commitment from Gonzaga.
That's big.
That would
That
be
would
huge.
that'd be huge,
That would be huge.
for basketball.
The Pac-12 may be back if they secure something from
Potentially.
Gonzaga.
Definitely better than the Pac-2 that they have now.
Yeah,
But if
right.
we're moving on to other breaking news, and this is breaking news today, and it's been developing all day, and that is UNLV's quarterback, Matthew Sluka, who sadly as Jayhawk fans we know all too well about, announced today
that's
that
the
he is
word.
redshirting the rest of the year so he can transfer out once the portal opens up. Now, apparently this is due to him not being fairly compensated. He was promised allegedly $100,000. Trevor, do you want to go more in detail about this?
Also, one other thing that just happened, like maybe 30 minutes ago, is their running back, UNLV's running back, also did the same thing as the quarterback. I mean, I was talking with one of my roommates earlier today, and we were like, no better place for it to be than Las Vegas. I mean, that's pretty fitting.
You know, the question is now, did Kansas break UNLV? Did we break UNLV?
I don't know about that. They're a top 25 team, we're not. But Will Despart reported this morning that Sluka went into Odom, the head coach's office, and demanded a raise to his NIL. Odom said that there was no room in the budget, so Sluka apparently got upset, prompting him to make this decision. And it was very well stated in the tweet from Despart that that was a big rumor, and it hasn't really been confirmed. But Pete Thamel also went on to report that Sluka's NIL representation, which is Marcus Cromartie of Equity Sports, told ESPN that Sluka was promised a minimum of $100,000 by a UNLV assistant coach to transfer to the school. It was a verbal promise. According to Cromartie, none of the money was ever paid, and a source confirmed this with NBC.
I mean, what do you guys think? I personally like. This is just, come on. You're there to play football. Yeah, you're getting paid NIL, and if someone
Matthew
promises you something,
Sluka will never play in the NFL.
That's where I'm gonna have to.
Get your money while you can.
I guess. but
Understand, but I understand how this affects the NCAA and their pay-to-play
It's a bad
model.
look.
It's
It's
a
a bad
terrible look to be Matthew Sluka right now, and
Yeah.
it's a terrible look to be UNLV. But go get your money while you can. Anybody else have any opinions?
Just kind of going off of that, like he could go out this Saturday, get some devastating injury, and never play football again.
Exactly.
And you were promised $100,000 to play football, and you're only getting apparently $3,000 of that. That's just I wouldn't do that.
The only thing I have to say is it was a verbal promise with an assistant coach.
Pen
Like
to
if
paper.
that was
That matters.
If it was pen and
100%.
paper with a head coach, and the head coach didn't come through on the promise, it'd be different. But it was a verbal promise to an assistant coach. I don't know. I mean, I think
This isn't the first time something like this has happened. With UNLV, it might be, but I know Florida State was recruiting some 5-star quarterback, and they got him, and then he immediately wanted out of his letter of intent because they did not have the money to him. When he actually went to the NIL collective, they did not have the $1 million that they promised him.
Yeah, it's happened before, but it's definitely a bad look for the NCAA and Matthew Sluka.
And there's a lot to be done about NIL, and I mean, we all want to like come up with these solutions and stuff, but there's really not like one fix-all solution. It's just kind of
There isn't.
It's just the Wild West
And
of college
that's
football right
Definitely not what we expected to wake up to this morning, though.
no, not at all.
And so you understand that's Matthew Sluka. Like, could you imagine if Hunter Dickinson did that?
we might be better off, honestly. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I think
We haven't
if it was
even,
a
we haven't
bigger-
even played basketball yet.
I think if it was a bigger name athlete, this would be much bigger of a deal.
Or could we think of, like, right now, R.J. Davis at UNC is one of the favorites to win National Player of the Year. If he just said, I'm not
done.
going to play
Yeah.
until I get my money, this would be a real big problem for college basketball.
Yeah.
And honestly,
You'd be
because
having a different conversation. Right
because it's Matthew Sluka, it's kind of getting kicked under the rug. Not getting kicked under the rug. Everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
But, like, it's not the big name.
well, the question I have is, do you think this is going to start a movement? Like, obviously, it's already started a movement in UNLV with the running back joining
The thing
in.
is, though,
But are-
Michael Allen did tweet. So he said, after 3 games, I've decided to utilize my red shirt and enter the portal at the end of the season. As a redshirt junior, I am grateful for UNLV and wish them nothing but success. Expectations for opportunities, unfortunately, were not met, and I am excited to continue my football career. He tweeted that out, and I believe it was maybe edited, but He tweeted out 2 hours after that original post, "My decision has no ties to NIL agreements. This is due to on-field opportunities. I did not receive a dime from any UNLV collective."
Well,
Do you think that's because his quarterback decides he's not going to play football anymore?
It doesn't.
Well,
I mean,
I
you're
feel
on
like-
a 3-0 team one way or another. Yeah, quarterback does a lot, but I mean, there's no way you have that much commitment to your quarterback where you at least don't see out the rest of the season.
Well,
The thing is, a lot of UNLV players are also out, like, very against Lucas' decision. They are not.
Yeah,
happy
no,
with
everybody is pissed
Well,
off.
it's your
So,
starting
yeah,
quarterback
respect-
quitting
Would be
on the
mad,
team.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
If you were a wide receiver for UNLV, you'd be pissed.
But also, and I think you said this today when we were talking about it off air, if you were working your job and you were promised $15 an hour and you're only making 10, you're not going to go work for $10,
not even
$5
that.
an hour less.
I
Not
wouldn't
even
go
that.
to work.
No.
Yeah.
It's like I get why Sluka did it, and but I also understand why people are mad.
And see, that's why I think
Goes
the
two
running
ways.
back, I think
Yeah.
that's why the running back said it wasn't due to NIL, because
Yeah.
rather he saw what happened to his quarterback. His quarterback goes out and says, "Yeah, I didn't get money, I'm not playing." Everyone bashes him. Why would he go out and say the same thing and get bashed too?
Yeah, that's
So I think he's just kind of saying that just to cover his tracks, but
And to kind of wrap up this breaking news segment, the official statement from UNLV was released. This tweet is from Brett McMurphy. Football player Matthew Sluka's representative made financial demands upon the university and its NIL collective in order to continue playing. UNLV Athletics interpreted these demands as a violation of the NCAA pay-for-play rules, as well as Nevada state law. UNLV does not engage in such activity, nor does it respond to implied threats. UNLV has honored all previously agreed upon scholarships for Matthew Sluka. UNLV has conducted its due diligence and will continue to operate its programs within the framework of NCAA rules and regulations, as well as Nevada state laws. So to me, that sounds like they're saying Sluka's trying to blackmail them,
Yeah.
wanting a raise in his NIL rather than what was maybe agreed upon.
I don't know. I would.
It sounds like Sluka
I
was
would
trying
definitely
to blackmail UNLV.
I would definitely blackmail UNLV too.
Yeah, all right.
So, I don't know. It sounds like something that we're just not gonna know anything about until more information comes out. It's crazy that this is what happened today.
one last thing that I want to add before we change the subject is the NIL landscape was already a slippery slope.
Yeah.
You know, I think this makes that even worse because, I guess, like we were talking about earlier, if other players start doing this, and like the big thing with NIL is they don't want them to unionize. If they unionize, like college football, or like not college football, college sports, going to be changed as you know it. Like I think we already talked about this one time. Is you know you always look at the more professional leagues like the NFL compared to college football, and you're like, oh yeah, the NFL is professional, but now both leagues are professional. College football is a professional league, on the same level, other than skill, just as much as the NFL.
Yeah.
100%.
And you're talking about unionizing. There's currently a case right now with the Dartmouth men's basketball team that they tried to unionize. And I'll read this just directly from this is Harvard University's journalism post. But they said on March 5th, Dartmouth's men's basketball team voted 13-2 to become the first college sports team to unionize, a historic step forward to recognizing that athletes as recognizing college athletes as employees. However, their legal battle is still far from over. So I think Dartmouth is kind of pushing back on this, and they're just settling it in court. And
Yeah.
nowadays with the NCAA, everything really just goes through the Supreme Court and Supreme Court rulings.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we got NIL. It's kind of how we've
Yeah.
gotten a lot of the
Okay.
stuff. That we
How
have.
much NIL would someone have to pay you to leave the B Team Sports TV show? You go first, Trevor.
There's a right answer to this, Trevor.
Like 250 mil.
Mil?
Yep.
I'm sorry,
riding
guys.
this.
I'm sorry, guys. I would do it for like 10K.
10K?
That's it.
I just need something to get me through the year.
Yeah,
I'm
10
just kidding. I'm just
Give
kidding.
me 250 mil.
I'm just kidding. This was too
Do
fun.
it for like $100, bro.
That's nuts.
Just say you're broke without saying
Yeah,
you're
just-
broke.
I am
some
broke.
Can't afford beer this weekend or what? Talking about college football, Trevor, or not Trevor, Tyler.
Oh, gosh.
I'm sorry. Nebraska lost at home to Illinois. Do you wanna take us away here?
Yeah, so let me clear my throat a little bit before I get started. But Nebraska played great on offense. There are major question marks with this team. They cannot generate pressure without blitzing on defense right now. Their defense doesn't look great right now.
Damn,
It
do you know
didn't
what this
look.
sounds like?
It didn't look
Sounds like KU.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It didn't look fantastic against Northern Iowa the week before. But we're like, oh, it's fine. Like, we're probably not trying to blitz them a whole bunch. And I don't think Nebraska really was. I think they're trying to practice generating pressure without having to blitz all the time. But this week, whenever they tried to generate a 3-man rush or a 4-man rush, they couldn't do anything. Illinois had all the time in the world to throw. Illinois was running the ball fairly well against Nebraska, but it was just bad. And on the offensive line, too, we're without one of our best offensive linemen in Micah Mizuka, transfer out of Florida due to some off-the-field issues where he might have been trying to fight a coach, allegedly.
I would try to fight the coach too.
But the offensive line hasn't looked great, and you really saw that on display in overtime when Dylan Raiola drops back on 4th and forever and just hit before he could even try and get a throw off. Like, that was just the epitome of it all.
That was really bad Nebraska football.
I don't understand how you get stupid false start penalties at home. You can't be doing that as the home team. That's just stupid.
That was bad.
No, do you think that was a really good, do you think that was an okay loss for Nebraska? I mean, Illinois is a good team. They've beaten KU, who is ranked. They've beaten Nebraska, who is ranked at home. What's this say about Illinois? I mean, Luke Altmaier's their quarterback, and he's had one hell of a start to his season. Some people are calling him the real deal, taking snaps under center. But it's just like, what does this show you more? Does this show you more about Illinois, or is this showing you what Nebraska needs to continue to work on?
I think Illinois, week after week, has been tested. I saw someone on TikTok decide to make a top 25 based on strength of schedule, and Illinois was a top 10 team on that. They have 2 ranked wins this year, and they're going to get a real test against Penn State, but we'll get into that later. But Illinois looks like a good team, and Matt Rule said in his press conference, Illinois knows how to win games, and these guys want to win. I mean, it sounds so simple, but they know how to win and they want to win. They're going to do whatever they can to go out there and win games, and you saw it this week against Nebraska.
Illinois got a tough game this week, I guess, on Saturday against Penn State. So we'll talk about that more later. Yeah. But Kansas, West Virginia took place on Saturday. Jayhawks up 11 with 3:30 left to go. Piss it down the drain. We have any comments there?
Watching that game, obviously that rain delay, 2-hour rain delay? Yeah. Going into that rain delay, I was like, this is perfect. We are up. We're going to go into this rain delay.
I didn't like the rain delay. I thought it killed our momentum.
We were moving, and then...
Yeah, I mean, obviously, going into West Virginia, we're the away team, but we looked good the first 3 quarters. And this is the same story with this KU football team this year is we cannot finish in the 4th quarter.
The narrative used to be we can't finish in the second half, so I guess we're making some progress there. Now it's the 4th quarter, if we're trying to look on some bright side. But
there's no bright side, though, because last year we won a lot of games, and this year we've only won 1.
Yeah.
And it was Kansas high school team.
Any pressure on their
Nothing.
quarterback. No pressure on their quarterback
Everybody's
at
just
all.
falling asleep at the wheel. It's the most frustrating thing to watch.
We didn't have a QB spy on there for a little bit.
There was nothing. We were doing nothing to prevent
our corners were getting cooked. I was watching the game with some buddies, and they made a comment that maybe our cornerbacks are just interception merchants.
Yeah.
They don't want to actually play defense.
Sure
but
feels like
they'll just get some INTs here, and we think they're amazing. What's going on? I know it would help the corners out a little bit if we could generate some pressure.
Obviously.
But what is
help
the
the
problem?
offense out if we could generate some pressure too. I mean,
what's the problem, guys?
Don't have an elite pass rusher this year. I
mean, before you go into anything, West Virginia's quarterback, 295 yards that game. 295 yards.
For a guy named Garrett Green.
Guess how much JD6 had? 184.
How many of those? Not only did he have 295 through the air, he had 87 on the ground and a score.
Yeah.
He had over 300 yards on our defense.
I mean,
him.
That's just ridiculous.
Well, what I think the biggest problem with this team is I don't think we make adjustments. I think we go in with a game plan, and as soon as the other team, they go into halftime, they go in the locker room, and they talk about, hey, the run game, we can run over them. Let's keep doing it. I feel like KU goes in with obviously they practice the whole week. I think they get their game plan, and I think they stick to that religiously, and they do not change it.
I absolutely agree.
I wrote an article this weekend. I got to cover some football. I wrote an article talking about the run game for Kansas and how it was completely overshadowed by another horrific loss. We dominated on the ground.
Yeah.
Dominated on the ground. Devin Neal, Daniel Highshaw, we dominated on the ground.
Too, at 55
Luke Grimm, he had a
yards.
score. We dominated on the ground, and it's just going to get overshadowed. We can win games on the ground. We can win these close games, and we haven't won it yet. We need everything to come together. It's been a slow start to the year. I'm sure we don't have a picture of Garrett Green on the file, but we let a dude
yikes.
like this beat us.
And the worst part was watching the Penn State coach, or not Penn State, West Virginia coach at the end of the game. He was asked, what was the difference in this one? How'd you guys end up winning this game? And he just said, simply put, we have Garrett Green and they didn't. And that hurt because I don't think he's that great of a quarterback.
No, he's not. And when you have was it last year? JD6 was a Heisman. At one point, he was a top 5 Heisman candidate. Obviously, it was early in the year. But to have a quarterback like that, and then have the opposing coach, and obviously they're going to go with their guys. They're not going to sit here and talk how good our guys are. But
100%.
To go in there and say that they won because their quarterback was better than ours, that hurts, especially when the quarterback was supposed to be good.
Yep.
We let a dude like this beat us.
It's just not
Can you see that case?
not a good game.
Speaking of quarterbacks that are supposed to be good, Michigan USC. We saw Alex Orji have his legacy game. It really wasn't that great of a game for him, but
You
Michigan.
can just brag here real quick.
Michigan
I don't want to hear it.
won the game.
I don't want to
They
hear
all
it.
called me crazy last week. Michigan won the game.
Congratulations.
You got a 50-50 pick right.
But it was a good game to watch. It was a really fun game.
Oh yeah, 100%. We have highlights for that one, I think, coming up here. But
Yes.
that was a good game. I did thoroughly enjoy watching the first score Michigan had. A long run just right through the middle of that USC defense. Being a Notre Dame fan, this game was hard to watch. Two rivals going at it. But I hate USC more than I hate Michigan, so
You know what I got?
even though I thought you were crazy, I can't say I was very upset.
No.
You know what I got to say about this game? This Michigan team looked like the old Michigan team during this game.
They shocked me.
That's a great point.
They
I'll
looked
admit when I was-
They looked like the national champion Michigan team, not the before the year.
I'll admit when I was wrong. Alex Orji, I'll give him his props. He looked damn good that
He
game.
played good enough to win, that's
Yep.
for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think
He nothing like outstanding.
I don't
there's a
think
lot to
Davis
clean up,
Warren's
but-
going to get his job back. So.
No, absolutely not.
That was a fun game to watch.
It came down to the wire too.
It did. Crazy play. I mean, we're watching the last few here.
Yeah.
The last few seconds.
Well, the USC quarterback fumbling the ball, Michigan picks it up and then gets it strip sacked from him too. I thought that's when USC was going to win.
What's
the game.
funny too is that running back said, "Give me that ball."
Yeah.
Give me the damn
Yeah.
ball, and he ripped it from that lineman. It was
Just a grown man play.
yeah, it was a grown man play. You know what? There was probably some weight room chance after that one.
Yeah,
there was
right.
definitely some weight room.
Those are
chance.
the kind of chants we used to do in high school. Texas, the #1 team in the country. Texas Longhorns
That's so
played
weird to
UL Monroe without their starting quarterback. However, their backup quarterback played like a starting quarterback. Arch Manning did it once again, guys.
Imagine how nice it must be to have two starting quarterbacks. Like you could put either one of them in, and either one of them will do just
You
fine.
can't even say how nice because that was KU a few years ago with JD6
They can both.
and
They like in
Jason
theory.
Bean.
They
obviously
could both play.
obviously Arch and Quinn
I would
Ewers
rather
are
take
better.
Arch Manning and Quinn
Quinn
Ewers.
Ewers
Oh,
and
yeah.
Jason
100%.
Bean
Over
and
100%.
JD.
Jason
Throwing
Bean
to
and
Isaiah
J6,
Bond
but-
too.
I mean, he looked filthy.
I mean,
he was putting everything on the money. It was so much fun to watch.
Oh, this game was
I
incredible.
mean, this is just.
I mean,
this
look
is
at
just
that.
A highlight
Oh.
reel right now.
No,
Absolute dime.
This is what I got to say about this Texas team. I like this Texas team. Like, this is a fun team to watch. They won week 1, 52-0. Week 2, they played number 10 Michigan. They won 31-12. Week 3, they win 56-7. And then this last week, 51-3. They have scored 50-plus points in 3 of their 4 games, and the only game they didn't, they dropped 31 on the defending champions.
I mean, it was a great game for Arch Manning to just get comfortable, and he didn't look perfect at the end. I threw all of his INTs at the end. He had 2. 2 touchdowns, 2 INTs, but when you're playing teams like UNL Monroe, it's not going to affect that very much. I mean, that Texas defense was dominant. But just look how open he gets in the end zone right here. Like, somebody didn't do their job,
Yeah.
and Arch Manning is a good enough quarterback to make them pay for doing that. And so, at the end
he can read a football field. That's what makes him so great, I feel like.
yeah, he's a future NFL quarterback.
Yes,
Future
absolutely.
NFL starting quarterback.
I can't wait to see him play in a game that matters, though.
Yeah, I
Oh,
agree.
Not to like
Next
take away
year?
from UM Monroe,
Next
but they
year?
are not LSU, Alabama, Georgia. Like those would be such cool games to watch. Arch
He's
Manning
got some
play.
crazy receivers he's throwing the ball to, too.
Does anyone know if Ewers was cleared to start this?
He wasn't,
He
and
wasn't?
they wouldn't tell you if he was. They don't
Okay.
want that.
So there was the first INT by Arch Manning. He was able to avoid a sack and just kind of threw it into double coverage. And here's the second one.
And they're
Just a
both
little bit of
fairly
a
early
just
in
a
the
little
game.
bit of a tip pass.
Yeah, just
he
an
had 2 in the
unfortunate
first
break.
half. So
Yeah.
as a young quarterback, it's just things you don't really like to see. But Arch Manning's got a promising career, and he looked pretty good today.
Yeah, I agree.
The last thing I guess we could talk about, I don't know if there's really much to say on this, but Florida State won a game. Florida
Yeah.
State won a game.
Give them their flowers.
I didn't
Wait,
think
is
I'd ever
Mike,
see
Nor-
it.
is Mike Norville back?
We're not doing any of that.
I don't know. They beat up on Cal. Actually, didn't beat up on them, but they
No,
played
just a
Cal.
slugfest.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's that, I guess. Did any of you guys get the chance to watch that game, or were there other games on the television that were a little more important?
There were definitely other games on
Yeah.
the TV at our place.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, I get that.
One game that has to be on everybody's TV, and it is the Mom Must-Watch Game of the Week for the B Team Sports Podcast. It's number 2 Georgia taking on number 4 Alabama. Both teams coming off a bye week. It's going to be an all-out war.
This is gonna be a
Guys,
brawl.
who's winning this game? Georgia's favored by 2.
I'll go first. I really like Alabama's now won 17 games in a row at home. I don't think that continues. I think Kirby Smart goes into Alabama and gets a win. I got the Dogs.
Give me Bama. Keep it short and sweet. I think Bama. It's gonna be a close one, obviously. Like you said, Tyler. They're both coming off bye weeks. They're gearing up for this. And I mean, first of all, I would love to be at that game.
DeBoer.
Yeah.
I would love to be at that game.
This would cement him.
It would.
Already.
This is how you shut the doubters up.
This is his I'm here game. So we'll see what's going on.
But yeah, I think Bama's gonna win in a close one. I've got Bama 27-24.
I like the score prediction.
Georgia's a great team. Georgia's one of the best teams in the country for a reason. Kirby Smart, one of the best head coaches in the country for a reason. But I don't give a damn about nothing but the Tide, boys. Give me Alabama.
I mean, I don't know. I think for me, the only thing that stands out is I don't think Kalen DeBoer understands the meaning of that game as much as Nick Saban would have last year.
I'm sure
And
Kalen
that's-
DeBoer does.
I
I
don't.
bet he's got
I'm
the
not.
boosters breathing down his neck.
But that's what I'm saying. I think that there is not much trust in him, I don't feel like, as of now. And having that amount of pressure on you going into a game like that, which already has that amount of pressure,
The thing is, though, Georgia's coming off a very close game against Kentucky.
I absolutely
and Alabama
agree.
made a statement in Camp Randall against a worse.
Yes.
That's
probably
because
team,
Georgia
but-
didn't care.
yes,
They didn't plan
exactly.
for Kentucky.
And so I think, I mean,
Like,
I would
That's
prepare
crazy.
for this.
That's
no,
crazy.
I'm with him on that.
That's crazy, though.
But I would
that's
very
not
much,
crazy.
I'd very much rather have Alabama win this game.
The thing is, Tyler, is Georgia overlooked Kentucky and still won.
Great teams
Yeah.
don't overlook any opponent.
Great,
That's how you
teams can
screw
overlook
up.
an opponent and still pull out the game, a W.
I mean, the year my high school team won state basketball, we lost 4 times. Like, it happens. We had
This
one of
ain't
the best
high
teams
school.
in
This is the
country.
goddamn SEC.
There's a difference between overlooking opponents and still being good at football.
Yeah.
Like, every team does it. You think Georgia's going to prepare as hard for Alabama as they do that FCS Midwest team that they play? No.
I hope, for Georgia's sake, that they spent all of Kentucky week scouting and getting ready for Alabama.
I hope
because
too, or
they
this
did
could be
not
a-
look great against Kentucky.
This could be a long game.
Yeah, I'm going with Georgia. Moral of the story, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if Alabama wins that game. It could go either way.
We
Coin
will
flip.
Definitely exchange some chats or some texts in our chat later
Yeah.
Well,
about that game.
A game that's going to stir up some conversation with us, too, is going to be number 15 Louisville going into Notre Dame, the number 16 team in the
South
country.
Bend, baby.
South Bend. Jack?
I think it's going to be a good game, actually. really do think this is going to be Notre Dame's make it or break it. For that reason, I have Notre Dame. The spread's obviously 6.5, which I think is a lot
Yeah, I agree.
for a game this close. But Notre Dame has to win or they're out of the playoffs, and that's just the truth. And they're at home again. I mean, they lost to NIU at home, beat up on Miami last week, but this is going to be a really huge test for Notre Dame. They need to win, and I think they kind of low-key need to win by a lot. I think the Louisville team's good. I just don't think they've really played anybody yet. So I'm taking that number next to their name as just like a grain of salt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Notre Dame's had some hard games. They played Texas A&M, lost to NIU, obviously.
Tough
and
game,
then
huh?
Yeah, hard game.
That was a tough game, guys.
Yeah, tough game
They're
to
ready
watch.
to go.
But
I'm going to take Notre Dame. I don't know really what the spread is. How about you guys?
I'm taking Notre Dame too. I think, they should be ranked higher, but because they had that one bad loss, they dropped a bunch.
Where would they be ranked if they didn't lose that game? Because they haven't
They'd be in the
looked
top
necess-
10.
They
They'd be
haven't
in the top
looked
10.
necessarily good against Miami last week.
I
or
have them at
Miami,
6 or
Ohio.
7.
How's it feel knowing that Buffalo beat Northern Illinois this past week?
Dude, that's
Transitive
just
property.
That's just how it is.
Yeah,
That's just how
college
the-
football.
That's just how the MAC
College
is, dude.
football.
Any given Saturday. I
Yeah.
about said Sunday. I'm in the
Oh,
NFL
yeah.
mind, but
You're almost ready to go.
I wouldn't want to be in the NFL mind if I were you, but we'll get to that later.
The next game, number 20, Oklahoma State at number 23, Kansas State. Kansas State's favored -4.5. Obviously, Oklahoma State had a bad loss to Utah the week before, where I came on this podcast and said, take Oklahoma State, and that obviously did not hit, so I'm sorry, Dad. But I'm just kind of asking because Kansas State's coming off another loss to BYU this weekend.
Shout out St. Bill Snyder.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
gosh.
So
That's
who are you
another
guys?
event on Saturday.
Who are you guys kind of going for here? Who would you guys, if you had to throw money on, who are you taking?
Going for and putting money on are very different
Yeah,
things with this
yeah.
game.
I wouldn't touch this game with my money, if I'm being totally honest with
I
you.
would.
wouldn't have lose.
Really?
I love
would.
gambling.
I do too.
I don't know. In this game, I think Kansas State looked really, really bad
Awful.
last week.
Awful.
I think Oklahoma State looked really, really bad. But I'm going to just put money. If I had to put money behind somebody, I would put it behind K-State. Just 'cause
Really?
they're at home. But that's the only reason. It's because they're at home.
I don't think K-State deserves to be ranked lower than Oklahoma State. I think K-State's a better team, and I think they're going to showcase that on Saturday and just get the win they need to get. They're just
Yeah.
going to take care of business.
As much as I hate to say it, I do think K-State's going to get that win.
That could be a huge win for K-State, too.
K-State's a different breed at home. I mean,
They're better for sure.
they're better at home, so it's kind of hard not to take K-State there.
SEC newbies Oklahoma are going to go down to Auburn to take on the Tigers on Saturday. Oklahoma's favored 2.5. However, I think the wrong team's favored. I think Auburn
Yep.
will win this football game.
Yep.
Wow.
I love that take. Absolutely love that take.
It's hard to go down to Auburn and get a win.
Yep.
And I think Oklahoma, they're actually, I don't know if you guys saw this either, but their quarterback is benched. They're starting a new guy behind center. I think he's a freshman.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pass it over to you guys while I go Google this stuff, and you guys will come back to me.
I'm kind of curious what you're thinking here, Grant, because if you had to pick one of these teams that are going to win,
Give me Auburn.
really?
Yeah. I don't think.
I love
Am I
Auburn.
the only one that
I love
thinks
Auburn.
Oklahoma is going to win this game? They got their welcome to the SEC game last week.
There's not a welcome to an SEC game for them. It's welcome to the SEC season for them.
Yeah.
It is, but I don't think Auburn's that great.
Because Oklahoma's played SEC teams before. They have not played an entire season.
No,
of
they'll
SEC
lose.
teams.
They'll lose to Auburn, and I think
I-
they'll lose by more than a touchdown.
Yeah.
I like Oklahoma in this game.
That's not crazy. Jackson Arnold, Oklahoma starting quarterback
he
the
got-
week before, got benched
Yeah.
against Tennessee. So we have a new quarterback, Michael Hawkins Jr., who's going to be taking the snaps under the center. He's a freshman. He looked pretty good in the snaps that he did play against Tennessee, and he'll get a real big test this weekend. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
the only thing I don't like with that, because I think that Oklahoma's new quarterback, and I already blanked on his name, but I think the kid
Michael
is-
Hawkins?
Michael Hawkins, thank you. I think he's good. I think he is going to be able to win more games for Oklahoma than maybe Jackson Arnold could.
I think he's versatile, that's for sure.
I think it's a breath of fresh air when the team probably needs it going into after that loss and after that first half against Tennessee. The only thing that scares me is just that, he's going to Auburn. He has to go play on the road.
He
right
ran
now,
the ball
but-
more than he threw it last week.
Well, that's a common trend with NCAA quarterbacks this year, and
Well,
it's working
they're
out.
just
for a
not
lot
very.
Of them.
They're just not very comfortable having him throw the ball, which he's a true freshman. It's I really think Auburn's just going to take advantage of that.
The thing
Yeah, I
is, though,
agree.
they're getting a full week of prep ready for Auburn. They're going to get him chemistry built with his receivers. Yes,
Auburn
it's
gets a
not
full
gonna
week
be-
of prep with a backup quarterback.
You're right.
I know it's a small sample size, but I really just feel like Auburn's going to come into this game prepared.
I agree.
And it's at home.
Yeah.
They're not going to want to lose this game at home.
You're probably right, but something in my gut is just telling me Oklahoma's going to win this game.
Alrighty.
And it's not the number in front of their name.
All right, well, now we're going to jump into Dogs of the Week.
New
yeah.
segment.
New segment on the
Segment.
show. We have Dogs of the Week.
You want to explain it for us real quick for all the newbies out here?
All right, so I'm just going to read what we have. It's double-digit underdogs or not ranked versus a ranked team. We have the underdog pick of the week. It could be, like we said, it could be a ranked team or unranked team playing a ranked team. It could be double-digit underdogs betting lines.
I'm going to come out and say that none of us chose the Auburn-Oklahoma game, probably because three of us had the exact same opinions that Auburn was going to go in there and take care of business. So we kind of stayed off that game.
I will say I looked at that as a potential dog of the week pick,
Yep.
and I was so surprised when I saw Oklahoma was actually favored in that game.
Yeah.
All right, well, I will start us off here. My dog of the week, give me BYU. BYU is coming off a generational game for BYU standards, maybe. They
Definitely a big game.
They invited
Big win.
Kansas State, who, like we've talked about, probably the favorite for the Big 12, one of the favorites, and they dog walked them. We were watching that game, and it just it was one of those games where it can't get any worse than this, and it got worse.
Yeah, it just kept going.
It kept going. So BYU is playing Baylor. They're at Baylor, which,
Baylor sold against Colorado.
Baylor sold against Colorado. Colorado's not a good team.
And Baylor
The
sold.
Hail Mary.
I think BYU is going to go, and I think BYU is going to win. So that is my dog of the week, Jack.
go.
I like that one.
Yeah, so I chose the Arizona-Utah game. Utah's number 10 in the country, and they're favored by 11 points. Now, I really do feel like this game could be a lot closer than what the spread says it may be, just because I don't think Arizona has showcased that they are as good as I think they actually are. They have a quarterback and a receiver that are questionably, arguably, two of the top players in their position in the entire Big 12. I think that the defense has struggled this year, and the defense is what has really let them down. They gave up 39 points to New Mexico, and they gave up 31 points to Kansas State. I really feel like this game will be won on the defense, and I don't necessarily think Arizona will win, but I do think they're going to cover the spread.
I like your pick a lot. Other than mine, yours is my favorite, probably.
Well, I cheated a little bit here. I saw NIU versus NC State, and I saw that NC State was favored, and I was personally stunned. I love NIU. Being part of that's probably being from Illinois, but I'm a big NIU guy, and the spread's 6.5. That was crazy to me. I think for them to 3 would have made somewhat of sense to me, but I mean, NIU's coming off a week where they were just ranked, and they're going to have a lot of fire and try to come back out and get back on that AP poll. And I think it's insane to me that no one else sees that and has NC State as the favorite here. I could not comprehend that, so that's my dog of the week.
I think you got a very fair point.
Throw some
and
money on NIU.
I think
I think he has a fair point, but I don't think he's right.
Really?
I would
don't
tail
love NC State.
I would
I
tail
hate NC State.
I don't love NC State. You guys are probably gonna think I'm a little crazy for this one, but my dog of the week is number 19 Illinois, going into Penn State, going into Happy Valley, and I think Illinois probably loses this game, but the spread's 18.5, and they're covering that spread.
Okay.
Illinois is a battle-tested team, one of the better strength of schedules early on in the season. They played a lot of close games, and they played Nebraska on the road. Now they get to go play Penn State. It's definitely a level up from Memorial Stadium.
100%.
But that's a pretty good warm-up for Happy Valley. So they're going on the road. 18.5 point spread is just a little too crazy in my opinion.
think
And
that
as
is a
Matt
little
Rule
much.
says, as Matt Rule said, Illinois wants to win games. They're going to go out there and do whatever they can. Give me
Yeah.
Illinois to cover that spread.
I do like that a lot.
I don't hate it.
We have a new segment. We have
Another
a lot-
one.
We have
We have a lot of new segments.
a lot of new segments today. We have the locks of the week. What's the description of this one, Grant?
All right, so you have however much money you have, everything. You're going to liquidate everything. And you are going to put everything that you own on this game. Are we taking money lines? Is that what we're doing, or are we covering spreads and stuff?
Covering spreads, money lines.
Okay,
Depends.
so you
Whatever
have
want.
go-to
all
bet.
of your money on this one game. Obviously, if they lose, you
You got
lose
nothing.
everything. So
Go first. Look into this camera. Say your
my
pick.
lock of the week, I am putting everything on this team. Give me Texas over Mississippi State because Texas
He
is
chose a 39-point favorite as his lock of the week.
Hey, I'm trying to make.
Lock.
I don't want to
Hey,
lose my
you
money.
might make $1 whole on that
You
bet.
might make one whole dollar.
I'm not in here to make money. I'm here to save everything that I just liquidated. Okay.
Okay.
So I have got Texas over
respect that
Mississippi
approach.
State.
There's so many questions about this
I
hypothetical.
respect that approach. I think choosing a 39-point favorite is cheating.
No,
For lock
no,
of the
no,
week.
no.
We're gonna let it slide this week. I picked the Indiana Hoosiers -6.5 versus Maryland. Now we have a fellow boy over here who is an Indiana Hoosier fan,
I'm so happy.
and he was happy I picked this one. And let's just give him a quick rundown. I mean, they got dudes.
Yeah.
They got a coach at the helm who wants to win football games
New
there,
quarterback this year than last year.
and they score points.
They put up points, and it is just so fun to watch that team. I absolutely love Coach Sig. I think he has just turned a program around. I mean, if you look at them last year, nowhere close to what they are this year. Not even like any in breathing room. And
Nope.
so I absolutely love that. I think that is 6.5 does not do that
Indiana has
justice.
some new blood. I think they're
Yes.
going to go out and dominate on Saturday.
Great pick.
Call me the bad guy here. Call me the bad guy here.
Okay.
This is at Maryland?
I believe so.
You want to put money
I
on
don't
it?
think
Let me
it
check.
matters.
Let me
You wanna put
check.
money
I
on
know
it?
it is
Let's-
versus Maryland.
Okay. Put it on KMC.
How much you want to put on it?
Let's
I
get
would
it, let's
also
get us
put
on
money
KMC
right
real
here.
quick.
Can we get a shake on
How
this?
much- how much
Yeah,
you wanna
let's
put
get
on
a shake real quick.
We'll do
20.
20.
20.
How
20.
confident are you,
I'll do 20 with you
Tyler?
right
Let's
now.
do it right now.
I was gonna do 5. 20.
Back
The
you
cameras are on, and
walk,
he's
talk the talk if you're gonna walk the walk. 20.
The thing is,
Let's go.
This
Come
is
on,
this is
Tyler.
an
Are you
upset
gonna-
pick.
Talk the talk if you're gonna walk the walk. Let's go. $20.
The Indiana Hoosiers. They're
I'm
so
not letting
bad.
y'all gaslight me into losing.
This was your idea.
No, it wasn't. It was Kenna's.
You said you didn't like it. I said put money on it. Let's
If
put
I
money on
had to
it.
pick an upset, I think Maryland, out of all of our locks, I think Maryland beats
So
Indiana.
let's put money on it.
We can talk after this.
What are
show.
you not understanding
All right.
about this?
Come on now.
$20 was a little too much.
Yeah.
I am
it's too
putting
steep.
$20
I'll put- If
on
you
it.
want to do 5, I'll do 5.
I am putting
Let's do
$20.
5.
I'll do 5. I'll do 5.
You saw it first, ladies and gentlemen. $5 is on the line.
I don't know.
free $5.
Yeah, I don't know what he doesn't
a
see in this
free
Indiana
$5.
Hoosier team, but this Hoosier team is good.
Well, I took the route of Grant. I ended up picking Ohio State over Michigan State. I like that a little better than
I
Texas,
don't
Mississippi
like
State. But
the idea here behind lock of the week, guys, we can't pick the huge favorites. However,
if my life savings is going on a team, I'm
Aiden
picking a
Childs,
huge favorite.
quarterback for Michigan State, Aiden Childs, true freshman, he's shown
He's good.
glimpses
He's good.
of being legit.
But, I mean,
He has
That
also
Ohio
shown
State team is-
glimpses of not being a legit. He turns the ball over
Yeah.
a little more than Michigan State fans would want. But he's going to be a dude. And I think, call me crazy, Michigan State keeps this closer than what everyone's thinking they will.
really.
I do. I think Michigan State's, they're 3-1 right now. It's their first big test, but Aiden Childs, this would be a great game for him. 4 touchdowns, 7 INTs. He turns the ball over too much, but he's a true freshman.
Yeah.
24 is a lot of points. So would you take money line or are you taking spread on this one?
I'm taking money line personally. I don't love spread.
You guys are playing this game wrong.
I don't love spread.
Okay.
I think I can avenge the segment. I think I can bring some life to it.
All I'm gonna
with
say
my team, with my
Is
lock.
the rules, the one sentence of rules was if you had to put your life savings on one bet, it was not if you were putting your life savings and trying to make
Why
money.
are you putting your life savings on a bet if you're not trying to make money? We are degenerate gamblers out here.
Apparently not. I tried to put 20 up and you said you should do 5. So
I'm
you
not
should
that
do
big of a degenerate.
You just got fact-checked IRL.
You out degenerate me. You out degenerate me. But
I mean, like, put your money where your mouth is, bro.
all right,
Shake on it.
I shook on 5. I shook on 5.
What was yours, bro?
Yeah, mine is number 12. Michigan is 9-point favorites against Minnesota. I think they cover that spread. I would bet my life on it. Minnesota doesn't belong even on the same field as Michigan. Iowa dismantled Minnesota last week.
You don't think it's gonna be a PJ Fleck masterclass?
No, that doesn't exist. Let's move on to the NFL.
We had a very exciting week here in the NFL.
So exciting.
You know, first game we're going to talk about, Eagles versus the Saints. That game was great. Not great for me. I had money on both running backs, Saquon and Kamara.
I'm sorry. I mean, Saquon.
Saquon had a huge touchdown, helped me in fantasy. But
so back.
is that Saints offense? Okay, the Saints offense scored, I don't know how many points.
I mean, like,
We have the clips if we want to start.
Also,
rolling
the
clips
Saints
too.
like didn't have like a punt. I think the first 2 weeks of the NFL.
Yeah, no, it was every they
think they
were
scored on every
15.
drive.
Yeah, they were 15 for 15 on scoring drives.
I think this game just showcased that the Eagles can play, and the Eagles are legit good. Like, I don't think this said much about New Orleans. I think New Orleans is good, but I think this was just Philadelphia saying, we're going to showcase now that we're one of the best teams in the entire NFL.
I agree with you, Jack. I think they shouldn't have lost to Atlanta the week before, and obviously they'll tell you that. I think the NFC is more open than maybe in years past, especially right now with the Niners. Granted, they are hurt, but they are losing games.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's part of it.
I think it's good that the Eagles won this game. I think it was mostly expected. I don't think the Saints have anything to really worry about. I think they're going to be fine. They just went against a great defense. Better than the Cowboys.
I mean, I'm getting caught up watching the clips right now. It was Jalen Hurts turns the ball over a lot more than fantasy owners would want.
Yeah.
Me included. But
They can't push anymore. Doesn't have that rushing touchdown upside.
yeah,
that he used
Nebraska
to.
alum Cam Jurgens just isn't.
That does
isn't
hurt to
good.
say. He's not Jason Kelsey, but
Well,
No one's
Jason Kelsey.
But yeah, I felt like the game was very interesting. It was definitely the game that I had on my television the entire weekend. I'm excited to see that the Eagles did come out victorious because when they were down and the odds were plus 100, I put $20 on them.
There you go.
So I did make money on that game. It was a very good game. I'm glad they won. The next game was a little shocker.
That was a stunner.
It was the Texans looked bad.
very bad.
And Sam Darnold
But
looked good.
I think the Vikings made the Texans look bad.
I think this Viking, because
They look good.
This is
Yeah.
okay. Going into the year, people were like, okay, the NFC North favorite is going to be the Lions, then the Packers, and then it's going to be a fight between the Vikings and Bears for that last place. On the opposite side, AFC South, everyone was Texans are going to be the AFC South favorites. They are probably going to be the AFC favorites just to win it, and I think that is completely wrong. I think the Vikings flipped that. I think the Vikings right now are the best team in the NFC North.
They have a big test this week, too.
They do have a
We'll
big
get into
test.
that later.
But the Texans, like, C.J. Stroud looked bad. He looked bad. Like, his first drive, it is 1st and 20, and he throws a pick. Meanwhile, Sam Darnold is throwing dimes.
Four tutties.
truth.
Four
And I
tutties
mean,
for
it,
Sam Darnold.
obviously, it helps when you have Justin Jefferson, the best receiver.
He
in
makes
the league.
everything
got
look
weapons.
better.
But I mean, dude, Sam Darnold looks good. He looks good. And he's only 27. I saw that. He is only 27. Obviously,
He's
that's
younger
pretty
than
old.
Joe Burrow.
He is younger than
That's an insane.
He is
that's
younger
an
than
insane
Joe
pull.
Burrow. You guys can look it up if you want.
I believe you.
That's wild.
How crazy is that?
now.
That's wild.
And it's just the situations that Sam Darnold's been in. And you know who I feel bad for? J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
don't.
How does
Because-
I
and-
don't.
I really am questioning the situations right now in the NFL because I genuinely don't know if Sam Darnold's all that good of a quarterback. But you get him dudes to throw to, you get him an O-line to protect him, and you get him a running back to make this offense a little more dynamic, and he can be good.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's
This
an
makes
NFL
me
quarterback for a reason.
Well,
you know?
but this makes me look at Brock Purdy before the year, I was a Brock Purdy believer. I was like, he's actually good enough to win games. And now I'm like, we're seeing Sam Darnold take his team to
Brock
3-0.
Purdy has lost like all of his weapons though.
I mean, you still has Debo and he still has Brandon
Good
Ayuk.
quarterbacks
Debo-
make their
I thought
team
Debo
look
was
good even
hurt.
without their best weapons.
I agree.
He might be.
I thought he was.
I think he was out. I have him in fantasy, and he was not playing this week, so I would check out.
I know sure as hell CMC wasn't playing. My fantasy team felt that this week, but
I get
Jumping
that.
into the next game, we have the Ravens versus the Cowboys. The Ravens smoked the Cowboys in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah, for 3 quarters.
I turned that game off because I was like, this game's over.
I turned it off too. You're
Yeah.
not the only one.
I check.
We didn't.
And it is a close game. It is a 3-point game. The Cowboys fell short, but the Ravens looked. I'm just going to look at those first 3 quarters. They look good.
I wouldn't just look at those
Case,
first 3
let's
quarters
run these
because
clips.
that-
I'm sorry, I don't want you to cry in the studio back there, but
I think you have to look at the 4th quarter because that's kind of the story of the Ravens season right now is they are losing games and almost losing games because they are not playing
is Case
4
yelling in the
quarters
studio?
of football. And it's like maybe call it the announcer's curse, but in this game Tom Brady starts talking about 28-3 when the Cowboys are down 28-6. And all of a sudden, Dak Prescott looks like an MVP candidate, and the Cowboys' offense looks like what they're always hyped up to be. And they did look like them boys for 1 quarter.
I think Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry rushed all over this Cowboys team.
But then they couldn't
if
do
you're-
it in the 4th,
Well, if you're
though.
a
What
Ravens
happened?
fan, you're gonna look at that and you'll applaud that effort. But it was a little scary watching the Cowboys kind of crawl back and claw back,
Hey.
and you just knew it was gonna come. And I mean, they got that onside kick.
Can we give them a round of applause? The first onside kick recovery of the NFL season.
Oh, here it is, right there.
Yep.
Impressive as it is, because now you have to
have to tell them.
That was
you have to
nice.
tell the other teams, hey, you're going to onside. Sean Payton did something different 2 weeks ago. He told the Seattle Seahawks, or the Seattle Seahawks, he told them that they were going to. I was remembering if it was the Steelers or if it was the Seahawks. Told the Seahawks he was going to onside kick and just kicked it deep. So I'm
I
going
didn't
to
know you were allowed
applaud.
to do that.
I'm going to applaud the Dallas Cowboys
Yeah.
for getting that one.
was
Impressive as it is.
Yeah, that was a great game. You know, like you said, Jack, Derrick Henry and Lamar. If you were a Ravens fan, you were just smiling.
Yeah.
Because
Ear. At least for 3 quarters.
238 rushing yards from your quarterback and running back is crazy.
I know, that's
you run the
ridiculous.
ball and get 238 yards, you're winning most games because you're draining the clock.
100%. We talked about the Broncos seconds ago when I mentioned them. I'm going to mention them again.
Gotta feel
Bo
great.
Nix got his first win in a Denver Bronco
Still has
jersey.
not thrown for a
but the
touchdown.
defense led the way. Baker Mayfield was held to 163 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. Bo Nix didn't turn the ball over.
Yes, he did.
And in fact, he looked really good.
Does it not say on the sheet? Oh, that was Baker
says Baker
Mayfield. Okay,
Mayfield.
my bad.
Bo Nix had no INTs, so he at least took care of the ball there. I know
Fair enough.
Javonte Williams did have a fumble, but Bo Nix was able to use his legs, get in the end zone again. He still doesn't have a throwing touchdown, but I'm sure
Might
that'll
win
come.
the lottery before he
This
throws
was
for
a
touchdown.
big step forward for Bo Nix, and so I'm excited.
I'm not
the
a Bo Nix
question-
believer, but after seeing that game, I'm definitely not all out on him.
Well, I was a
might
Baker
be buying-
Mayfield. I was a Baker Mayfield believer, and this
Yeah.
game really made me question, like, his receivers just couldn't get open.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think I had the Buccaneers. They were.
we all
I
had the
picked them.
Buccaneers.
We did. Even
And
kinda-
I did.
the Broncos came out and stunned me, and it's a home game for the Buccaneers too,
Yeah.
which is crazy too. But
I just think Bo Nix was hitting his passes,
he was
He looked good.
and he
yeah.
looked good.
Looked good.
He was
he was the
playing
game
a good
manager
game.
they needed.
I would
Yeah.
say he was the second best rookie quarterback this week behind Jaden Daniels, who cooked, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
I don't hate that at all.
All right, well, jump into the next game. Andy Dalton cooked. Can we talk about
The
that?
red
And
rifle.
that everyone that was saying, "Oh, it's his receivers, it's his O-line." Andy Dalton was like, "No, I'm just a good quarterback."
He got it done.
He got it done.
The red rifle.
The red rifle.
Man.
3 touchdowns, and they were
Great.
throws.
We have, I believe I put the clips in there. They were good
I think we have
touchdowns.
clips for most of these games except the
yeah.
Jags.
Yeah,
one.
the clips here, you know, I just think Andy Dalton, he was playing smart. He was taking the easy throws when it mattered, but he wasn't afraid to throw it down there.
You
No,
gotta
he
feel.
was slinging
Veteran
it.
quarterbacks understand that.
You gotta feel so bad for Bryce Young, man.
Well, I think this is a game Bryce Young could have won too.
Did you guys see him?
Yeah.
His team after the game, I think they're running back through the tunnel celebrating the win. He's just giving them all high
He
fives.
looked so defeated, man.
He just looks
looked
like an
so
upset
sad.
middle schooler.
And I think
Yeah.
there might have been a picture going around of him with his like parents after the game or something like that, just like having a little moment of like, it's not going to plan right now, but
Back
it
to
can get
positivity,
better.
man. How about the red rifle?
How about the
Love
red
that.
rifle?
I love that performance.
Yeah, that
Can we
was
go back to negativity? What's next, guys, for Bryce Young? No, I'm
honestly,
just joking.
I
Let's go
think-
back to positivity.
I
Let's
think
be
Bryce
happy.
Young is fine. I think he'll
he's
be
fine.
fine.
New
Hey,
situation.
but
do you think he stays in Carolina?
No.
No.
He's still got this is his second year of the rookie contract with a 5th-year option. He is absolutely staying in Carolina for the very foreseeable future. I don't think he ends up in a Trey Lance situation or anything like that.
Hope not. That'd be
But
pretty bad.
I think it's really good for him to learn behind a veteran quarterback and just be able to see a veteran quarterback go out there and learn what it's like to just handle business, and that's what Andy Dalton did.
Talk about game manager. We talked about Bo Nix game managing there. Andy Dalton's game manager.
Yeah.
He
He's
was
done it
slinging
before.
it, though.
He's done it
He
before.
was a playmaker, too.
And he can win football games.
Well, okay, I'm going to jump back to what we were talking about, Bryce Young. Miami's out on their first 2 quarterbacks. Could we see Bryce Young to the Dolphins?
Not
I mean,
anytime
Miami
soon.
would have to give a pretty generous
For
package.
second year of Bryce
But-
Young.
I know, but
Miami
let's
would
say
have to give a pretty good package.
would
has
think
it came out?
Bryce
Is
Young.
Tua made a decision yet? If
No.
No.
He's
let's say
senior
it comes out.
ologist.
Let's say it comes out. Tua's like, I'm done. I'm stepping away from the game. You instantly lose your starting quarterback.
Could you trade Tua?
I never had Tua. Oh, would you trade him?
Like, could you, if you're Miami? Like,
What team would want him?
There's a lot of teams that would want Tua.
probably not if you can't play football and
Yeah,
retires.
right.
But
But
I don't know.
I don't know. I think Bryce Young, obviously,
He'll probably be in Carolina until his contract runs out. But it's
Absolutely.
like, I'm sure Andy Dalton will start the next week, and I'm sure if he plays good there, he'll start the week after and the week after, and Bryce Young's just going to have to learn
Yep.
from a veteran quarterback something that's going on in
not the
New
worst thing in the
England
world.
and what Brett Favre did with Rodgers, and it will be good for him, and he's going to grow, and maybe saying hopefully Bryce Young's able to bounce back and learn a lot during this season, and he'll be starting next year, week 1.
You know what? I'm starting it now. Bryce Young was not the problem. There it is. You heard it here first. So when he's on his 4th team in 5 years,
What's your excuse then on why they were losing games before?
Andy Dalton did it.
Andy Dalton went and did it with the exact same team
But
Bryce
to Grant's
has.
defense, you said that you thought Bryce Young could go do it and win.
yeah, you said he could have won this game.
I do
So,
think
I
Bryce
don't
Young
know.
could have
I
won that
picked
football
Carolina
game, but
last week to beat the Raiders. I would not have picked Carolina with Bryce Young at quarterback. I just,
Okay, Andy Dalton's not that good though. I
he's
mean, he had a
not,
good game,
he's-
but like
he's different.
Well, I
He's
think that was
different,
just
and that's what
Andy.
they
I think
needed.
that was just Andy Dalton being Andy Dalton for a game, and I think by week 4 or in the next 3 weeks, we'll see more normal Andy Dalton stats, and I think it gets a little less impressive from here. But he had a great game. Let's not take anything away from him.
Talking about unimpressive, the Seahawks-Dolphins game.
you missed a totally good transition.
My
we were
bad.
just talking about Miami with Bryce Young.
My bad.
Dang.
But
It's all right.
we have a question on here. Are the Seahawks a good team? Simply put, no, they're not.
I don't think so.
Did they beat up on
Really?
an injured team? Absolutely, they did.
I don't think they're a good team, but I don't think they're a bad team.
I mean,
think they're a
DK
mediocre
Metcalf
football
looked
team.
really
They're,
good.
they're a mediocre,
They're a
football
mediocre
team,
football
and that's
team.
not going to
Hey,
slide.
I think
in this
DK
year's
looked
NFC
DK
West.
looked good.
DK always
We're
looks
just-
good.
we're just
It's
hating.
DK Metcalf.
Yeah,
Well,
I
DK
like him.
Do you
I
think
like the
Geno
Seahawks.
Smith? Do you think Geno Smith could lead a team to a Super Bowl?
I mean, we're
Not to
seeing
a Super Bowl, but
we're seeing Sam Darnold lead a team right now, and we're seeing Brock Purdy lead a team to a Super Bowl last year. I mean,
Yes.
it's doable. I don't think this team's good enough to win a Super Bowl like the Niners were, but I don't think it's that crazy. I mean, he targets his weapons, which is something you love to see quarterbacks do.
I like him
So,
going into Detroit, honestly.
I
I
don't,
do.
but-
Because Detroit doesn't look that good right now.
I think it'll be a good game.
Again, Detroit, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure in years past, the Detroit-Seattle game has always been a absolute barn burner.
That's
just
what
a
I'm saying.
scoring fest. So
Sure.
that
And
could be
I
a fun
like-
game to
and
watch.
I like
in the
him.
NFL.
I think that'll be a
See-
game down to the wire.
What I don't understand is obviously Skylar Thompson, the backup, he's not Tua, and that's hard to say because I don't think Tua's a good quarterback. I think he has good weapons, but
It's just
Thompson
crazy.
couldn't get it done with with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. He couldn't get it done.
He's not
Can
very
I
comfortable
pause you
throwing
on
the
something
ball
real
to
quick? You say Bryce Young's not the problem in Carolina, but you say Tua is the problem in Miami. What's the difference?
Okay, I think if you gave Miami a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes or
Does Miami win more games with Bryce Young or Tua?
probably Tua, but just hear my point.
I'll
I think if you give Miami a quarterback like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, just a top
They're not
quarterback,
doing that.
they are doing astronomical numbers with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
I don't think
And
anyone's doubting
Tua's
that.
doing good numbers, but I feel like with two of the fastest receivers and the fastest running back room,
Well, the thing is though, no one compares Tua to Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen.
that's what I'm saying. But
Patrick
I
Mahomes and
want
Josh Allen
you
or
to
Patrick
sit here and
Mahomes
tell me
Josh
why
Allen.
you think Bryce Young seemingly is a better quarterback than Tua.
because Tua struggles with deep balls. I don't know much about Bryce Young. I don't watch Bryce Young, so I don't know if he's better at throwing deep balls. But Tua constantly would underthrow his two fast receivers. And when you have two fast receivers, you don't want to underthrow them. You want to lead them so you can get big plays. So I think if Bryce Young can throw a better deep ball than Tua, I think Bryce Young would be better in Miami than Tua.
I don't think Bryce Young really had that great arm strength anyways, so I feel like what's the point?
But we're talking about fast receivers. The Chiefs do have the fastest player in NFL Combine history, and they played the Falcons this week on Sunday Night Football.
They did.
How's that for a good transition? All right.
That was
Yeah,
better.
that was
You
good.
redeemed yourself.
Slow start for the Chiefs this game. I think it was a lot of just both teams trying to figure each other out. Mahomes did not look great. Someone was being stupid on our rundown and wrote another controversial win for the Chiefs. That's just not accurate at all.
Controversial. There's a
You
pass
point to
interference in
one
the end
bad
zone.
call, but there were bad calls on both sides.
It's just the fact that the Chiefs can consistently
like
win
the
games with a
Chiefs-
bad call.
Let's
in the
start.
fourth
Let's start the
quarter.
narrative right now. Then, Chiefs Chargers this week. Derwin James just got suspended by the NFL ahead of the game.
Yeah, bad call. Why are you suspending Derwin James? He hasn't even played yet. The Chiefs just need all the
That's
help
what
they
you
can
drove
get.
at?
I'm just
what-
saying.
that's what you went for.
We're
proving
gonna
our
push the
point.
narrative that the NFL is.
No. But that's what you went for out of everything?
I just wanted to talk about that story because I do think it's, as a Chiefs fan, that's kind of
Oh,
stupid.
shut up. No, you don't.
I do. I'm happy that we don't have to play Derwin James. He looked
Everyone's-
good. He was having a great game.
So what? Derwin James was doing his job and gets suspended by the NFL for taking people's head
well,
off.
yes, that's
Yeah.
why. That
I understand.
Here soon we're gonna get a.
They did the
Chiefs
same thing.
Start each
They
game
did
with
the
a
same thing.
10-point
There was
lead.
a Denver Broncos safety last season who decided that he just wanted to target everybody, and the Broncos did have to release him. But we have clips from this game too. I just think I was really bummed just to see that Travis Kelce couldn't get in the end zone. He looked more efficient
I
this
have
week.
in fantasy. How do you think I felt, man?
I just really feel like Travis Kelce's invisible.
Well, the thing is,
On
and
some of the
Invisible is a
plays.
great
it could be
call-out.
team speak, but Mahomes said in an interview that they're just taking Kelsey away. They're making points. Defenses are to take Kelsey out of the game and make him a non-factor.
But would you
So
think that Travis
have they
Kelce's
not-
a good enough player to?
we
make
haven't
plays?
been
Like,
able to see
they
this
were
season because
taking-
he's been taken away every single
They
game.
were taking him away last year.
Yeah, he's been. Like, do you think teams go into playing the
He's-
Chiefs and they're like, okay, we're
He's
just gonna
definitely
we're
a year
gonna let
older.
him.
He's definitely a year older, and he's probably lost a bit of a step, but he's still Travis Kelce. I still think he's the best tight end in the NFL
Right now?
Today, yes.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
I
Dallas
just
Goddard,
also,
Dallas
I
Goddard
also
this year
think
is
Mahomes loves Rashee Rice. And
Yeah, he does.
Rashee
I wish-
Rice
Well,
can do a lot more than Travis Kelce can with the ball right now.
yeah,
Okay.
I see what you're saying.
I understand that.
Case hates that take as well. Wow, that was a.
Travis
Listen, it's
Kelce's
the
not the best tight end in the NFL.
no,
but
yeah, that was a.
I
Crazy,
feel like we
that's
just
a
have to
crazy
move
take
on.
right
Not even
there.
close.
We'll
Would
move
you
on
say
past that.
Is this might be controversial here, and I genuinely don't know. I'm asking a question. Is he? Do you think he's top 16 tight ends in the league right now?
Yes.
yeah.
He's top 5 for sure.
He's
Not
definitely
this
top
year.
five
No.
for
Okay.
sure. Well, let's
if
go.
we're
I
going
I
this
got
year.
Jake Ferguson over here.
Oh, shut up.
Get out of here.
Shut up.
No, we're going this
Would
year.
you rather have Kyle Pitts or would you rather
Give me
have
Kyle Pitts this year?
No.
No.
This year?
He hasn't done anything. I know because he's on my fantasy team.
I don't
Pitts
know.
and
Kyle
Kelce
Pitts
have
got
had very
pass
similar
interference in the
years.
end zone right there. That needs to be called every day.
Yeah,
of the
you know
week.
what? I
Chiefs-
cut out
Chiefs cheated.
the very questionable roughing the passer calls too
I'm sure you did.
for both teams.
Hey, buddy. I put this together.
Okay,
You did. You're right.
So
You
what
did.
the hell did you
I'm
cut
bad.
out?
I'm
Okay.
confused here. I just want to question. For those saying you would take Travis Kelce over Kyle Pitts, this year, Travis Kelce has 8 receptions for 69 yards, his longest being 23 and 0 touchdowns. Kyle Pitts has 8 receptions for 105 yards, his longest was 50, and he has a touchdown. Those are statistically better.
last week.
Yeah, as long as just happened.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it was this week
I
or
really
the
like
week
Kyle
one.
Pitts' versatility.
No one's game
animal.
planning for Kyle Pitts right now. They're game planning for.
I mean, I would game plan for Kyle Pitts. He's like 6'6".
they're not.
and can run
They're
really
trying
fast.
to take away the run game, just like the Chiefs did. That outside zone, they are taking that away from the Falcons, and then you shift to taking away Drake London and Darnell Mooney downfield shots.
I just think it's
Kyle
great.
Pitts is the third option.
I
on
would
that
rather
offense.
have Travis Kelce
Yeah.
than. Yeah, I know you read the stats off, and I know your blood's boiling.
I am. It
I
is-
would
it's
rather have
boring.
Travis Kelce. That's because Travis Kelce's a better football player than Kyle Pitts. But that's just my opinion.
Statistically.
I'm gonna make you cry right now.
Yeah, I
Grant.
know.
The
I'm ready
Jaguars
for
looked
it.
terrible. The Bills dominated. Josh Allen dominated. 263
in the first
passing
half,
yards.
basically. In the first half, basically.
Yeah, well, because they played backups the entire second because your team was that poverty. 4 touchdowns. Rant.
Yeah. I mean, how?
I'm gonna keep it short and
how are
sweet
you
today,
feeling?
guys.
Timer.
Start. I will wait for this timer to start. You know, put me on the camera. Put me on cam 3, will you?
Will you?
Okay. The Jaguars suck. Nobody on the team looked good. There was not a single bright spot. The only one you could maybe say was maybe Brian Thomas Jr. Trevor Lawrence looked scared in the pocket. The offensive line looks terrible. We didn't use our running game for some reason. Coaching sucks. Offensive coordinator sucks. The team sucks. We are 0-3. We are going into Texas next week to play the Houston Texans. We are losing that game. I called it, I think, last week that we are going to start off the year 0-4. I fully believe that. It's a coaching change because Doug Peterson has said in multiple press conferences that we don't know if we're going to change yet. You're 0-3, and I don't know if we're going to change. So put the
And getting
Jaguars.
embarrassed.
Put the Jaguar. Okay,
They got
Buffalo
embarrassed.
Bills was the only embarrassing game.
Yes, yes.
Other than that, they haven't had too bad of losses.
I like.
Get ready
I
to
like
learn
the
Quinn
argument.
Ewers, buddy.
No. Give me Arch Manning in a few years. I want Arch Manning as the next quarterback for the
You
Jacksonville
got T
Jaguars.
off for a while after this offseason. So.
No, but anyways, just to wrap it up, the Jaguars did not look good. That was a terrible game to watch. Like I said earlier, it was one of those games where you watch and it can't get any worse than this, and it got worse. So
Sorry,
Jaguars
we don't have,
suck.
Sorry we don't have highlights for this game. Grant decided he didn't want to do them because
So close. You almost had.
Was
it
I trying to go under a minute?
We,
You almost had it
the
under.
people,
Dude, I
the
could've gone
people
like
betting, the people betting at home.
Yeah.
They wanted
the line.
under
The
a
line
minute.
was
Grant,
59
yeah, Grant was
Yeah.
a little upset.
I'm
He
sorry,
didn't want to
guys.
put clips together of his team being bad. The Washington Commanders, the Cincinnati Bengals, first game since 1940 to have no turnovers or punts.
Fun game to watch.
Rookie
It was a great game to watch.
Jaden Daniels. Well done, sir.
Yeah.
21 of 23 passing, 254 in the air, 2 touchdowns, plus 1 on the ground. He got it done
He
in
looked
Cincinnati.
great.
That's
He
my
looked great.
It's my rookie of the year pick on episode 1. You can go back and look and hey,
That's
a
looking
pretty-
really
can't
good
look.
now.
You can hear.
Yeah.
We didn't have
whatever
visuals.
you want to say, but you can go back.
Yeah, that's
hear.
looking really good right now.
I'm very happy with that pick right now. I feel like the Commanders' offense is only going to get better. Their defense is the big question mark right now. And I think in a couple of years when they, in free agency and through the draft, they can really build up that defense to be something special. I
Yes.
wish they had Chase Young still, as crazy as that is. I love Chase
Well, he's
Young
on the
still.
Saints now, if any of you guys know that.
It is
Someone-
crazy. You reminded me of that on Sunday, and
Yeah.
I almost didn't believe you.
Someone who I know said something to me the other day. They were like, "There's no way the Bears got it wrong another year." And after watching Jaden Daniels play on Monday, I thought to myself,
Well,
"There
I
is
would
no
say
way we
the-
got it wrong again."
I would
another
say
year."
don't overreact.
I'm not
It's just-
overreacting.
If
It's
the
just
Bears
in the
had
back
Cliff
of my thought.
Kingsbury running
No,
their
and
offense,
an O line, like there's a lot that goes into
And
it.
Caleb
but
looked-
I
Caleb
really
didn't look that
No,
bad.
he didn't.
Bomb.
He threw
Caleb
for
looked
370
Terry
something
McLaurin.
Two
yards.
passing touchdowns.
Two passing touchdowns.
His first
so,
two.
Yeah.
What
and-
I will say real quick is, do you know who I am very jealous of right now?
Who?
The Washington Commanders. Punter.
Yeah.
Free money.
Yeah.
He got
right.
paid
Free
like what? Like I
money.
think it was like $275,000 to get
Sit on the bench.
sideline seats
Yeah.
to watch that game. So
It's electric.
yeah,
Um,
Dream job.
Jaden Daniels played out of his mind.
He looked
An insane
he looked
game.
nuts.
To only have 2 incompletions too is
Nuts.
insane.
He looked
He
insane.
he looks good. I would say
Now,
he is 100% there.
There is a highlight coming up here soon, and it's going to show Jaden Daniels in the pocket, finding Terry McLaurin for a touchdown down the right side of the field. He realized he's going to take a hit. We'll come back to it when the plays, coming. But I think it's coming up here pretty soon. Jaden Daniels just looks so NFL ready right now. And Cam Taylor-Britt made a comment about...
He needs to stop talking. I love Cam Taylor-Britt, but he
Cam
needs to shut
Taylor-Britt
up.
made a comment saying they run a college offense. This offense isn't going to beat him. They run a college offense, and he got embarrassed. Cam Taylor-Britt got embarrassed. And I think it just goes to show you what you can do when you have dudes.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, this Commander seems 2-1. Like, here's the throw I was talking about. He takes a big hit and finds Terry McLaurin in the end zone.
A dime.
It's an impressive throw.
Absolute dime.
Great catch, but a better throw right there. And it's just how he's in a great situation. And that's what it ultimately comes down to.
Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, they looked good.
That's 2 weeks in a row that the Bengals have looked all right and just lost.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel a lot better that the Bengals, too, are 0-3 because I feel like the Jaguars and Bengals, if you would have told me at the end of last year.
Told you he was going to cope. Told you he was going to use this to cope.
I'm not using this to cope. I'm just saying if you told me last year that the Bengals and Jaguars would start the year off 0-3, I would have been like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't think that's that crazy to say that
No, I don't either.
The Bengals for sure.
Bengals for sure.
Yeah. It was impressive. An impressive game for a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
It was a great week for the NFL. A lot of games came down to the wire.
Yep.
And I just think it's time for us to put our picks in. I think, Case, you might have the graphics. Hopefully it works this week to put up on the screen. But let's go into the minute rundown, and then we can we also have Underdog of the Week and
forgot
Mom
Game
Game
of the Week.
When we get to those games, we will talk about them a little more in
I'm
depth.
leading because I'm the best,
You are.
and you're
But, hey,
dead last.
Grant was leading, lost it this week, and I
You only
made a big
got
comeback. I made a big
right?
comeback this week.
Grant?
I could have got 6, but I got gaslit into picking the Jaguars, unfortunately. But
I mean, I'm always going to pick my team. I don't care if I'm wrong.
Oh, there you
I
go.
should not have picked my team.
Let's get right into it. Thursday night, Dallas is at New York. Who we got? Jack Kenna?
Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas.
Yeah.
If Dallas loses this game, there's major issues.
It's nuts.
We'll move on. We have the New Orleans Saints taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Jack Kenna, who do you have?
I'm going to actually roll with the New Orleans Saints here. I know that they're underdogs, but I really like that team and what they have. So I'm going to go with the Saints.
Give me the Saints, too.
I love the Saints here. Give me the Saints.
Yeah, I think I'm going with the Saints too.
Yeah. All right, we got the Rams this week taking on the Chicago Bears in Chicago.
I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears.
Oh.
I'm going to go with the Bears. Their defense looks good, and their offense is going to figure it out.
Give me the Bears.
Oh,
Give me the Rams. What are you guys doing, dude?
give me the Bears.
Give me the
Give me the Bears.
We can't clap.
The
I
Bears-
really want
yeah.
the Bears to win.
The Bears are favorited by 2.5 points. We'll move on here. Minnesota is at Green Bay. Big battle early on for the NFC North.
Yeah. I really think Malik Willis has had a really good showing in his 2 games as a quarterback for Green Bay. That's not going to work. That's not going to last.
I was going to say, is Jordan Love back for this game?
He might be. He's questionable. I have him in fantasy, but I'm taking the Vikings to win this game because I think Sam Darnold's looked that good.
Give me the Vikings just because, the Vikings have 2 players on the top 5 sack, like the leaders in sacks. So the Vikings defense is good. Like we've talked about their offense, but I think their defense is just as good. So give me the Vikings.
I think if Jordan Love comes back this week, the Packers win. I'm going to take the Packers. Go, Pack, go. But if he does not play, I'm not going to be surprised that Minnesota wins.
I love the Vikings. I love the Vikings
They're a
here.
fun
Give me the
team to
Vikings.
watch.
They are awesome.
They're a fun team to watch, that's for sure.
All right, well.
Let's talk about the Bengals-Panthers game real quick, even though we all know we're all taking the Bengals, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Yay,
Which
congratulations.
makes me mad because they're going to leave the unwin club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
just
we
a
thought
mess.
that with the Commanders this week, and we were wrong. I think
Yeah.
we've thought that with Cincinnati actually every single week this season, and I think we've been wrong every single time. So maybe we're just jinxing.
give me
them.
the pick. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sticking with the Bengals.
Yeah. Pittsburgh at Indianapolis. Anthony Richardson hasn't looked good. Just playing against a great defense.
Give me the Steelers.
Give me the Colts. They need to figure it out.
Ooh. Give me the Steelers.
Yeah, I like the Steelers here.
All right. Not yay, sadly. The Denver Broncos take on the Jets. Broncos have a good defense. Jets, I don't know what to think about them yet.
I'm going to go with the Jets. I'm not buying it yet. I'm a Broncos fan, but I just want to see it again. Just show me that you can be a little consistent, Bo Nix, and maybe I'll start riding with you a little more.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the Jets.
I'm gonna take the Jets as well.
Give me the Jets here.
Yeah, Jets, easy.
Yay. Philadelphia takes on Tampa Bay at Tampa Bay.
I'm going to go the Eagles.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Eagles too.
Eagles.
Eagles.
There you go.
Yay. Jacksonville takes on Houston. Jack, can lead us off.
Houston.
Texans.
Give me the Jaguars. Give me the Jaguars this
I
week.
want to believe, Grant. I really do.
Don't, because I had
I don't
to.
think I can.
You can't. Don't do it.
CJ
I'm
Stroud's
going
not
Texans.
been. the
CJ Stroud
of
is
last
having the
year.
sophomore slump that I called that he was going to have this year.
You said it last week where the Jaguars needed. This was your copium for you to pick your Jaguars pick. You said the Jaguars need a big statement win to get the season back on track, and I think that this is where
Season's
they
over.
really get that.
At this point, Jaguars, tank, take Travis Hunter. Take him. We need a DB because
Okay.
3 of our 4 DBs, starting DBs, were hurt, and there still are. So
All right.
I'm taking Texans.
Sure.
Well, we have the Commanders in Arizona
problem.
this week.
Okay. Sure do.
Give me the Cardinals.
I'm going to back the Cardinals as well.
Give me the Commanders.
I like the Commanders here.
Okay.
All
There you
right.
go. I like that even split.
Yep. New England goes to San Francisco.
It really depends on who's going to play for the Niners. Like, if Debo's going to play, I'm going to take the 49ers. If Debo's not going to play, Jacoby Brissett can game manage games. I'm going to ride with the Niners, though, at home. So,
I'm going to go Niners too, just because it's the 49ers.
Yeah.
I'm going Niners. I would say this would be my NFL lock of the week. I don't think it matters really who plays.
okay.
Give me the Niners.
Yeah,
That's your
I
lock?
like the Niners here too.
All right, boy. Yeah.
Yeah. We have Cleveland taking on Las Vegas in Las Vegas. Who we got?
God, this game is not going on my television.
Moms, do not watch this
Yeah,
game.
this is the mom don't watch game of the week. I'm going to go the Browns. I think that's kind of where my head's going, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
I think they can. Speaking of the Browns, I don't want to cut you off. I saw some guy win $117,000
I saw that.
on a 3-leg first touchdown parlay that
Yeah.
included Amari Cooper. So
That was sick.
just because of that, go Browns.
I'm probably going to go Browns too. I know I've been trailing a lot of Jack's picks today, but I don't like
It's
the
no-
Raiders.
it's no
I don't
Raiders.
like.
I hate the
don't
Raiders.
like the
I
Raiders.
don't like the Raiders,
Yeah,
and
Browns.
you just lost to the Panthers. Give me the Browns.
Browns, 100% Browns.
Yeah. The Kansas City Cheats, as some people call them, take on the Los Angeles Chargers in LA. It's going to be a home game for the Chiefs, though.
It's so hard to be a
So
Chiefs fan.
Justin Herbert waddled off the field in the last game, and I don't know his status. I don't think it really would have mattered. I'm going to go Chiefs.
I hate this goddamn team. Give me the Chiefs.
The Chiefs suck.
Give me the Chiefs.
Boo!
Take the Chargers.
No, I'm not going to. Give me the Chiefs.
I'm trying to win the. Okay, real talk. This probably is a conversation for after this.
We'll talk about that after the
Yeah,
show.
I know where you're going
Talk
with
about.
that.
All right.
What were you
Sunday
going
night
with that?
football. Sunday night football. Buffalo is in Baltimore.
AKA Mom Game of the Week.
Mom game
Mom
of the
game
week.
of the week.
Moms, make sure you tune on NBC Sunday night
This is
7:20.
my underdog
watch.
pick of
to
the
watch
week
the
too.
Bills, Ravens.
Bills.
I'm going to take the
makes
Buffalo
sense.
Bills.
Yeah.
Give me the Bills.
I love the Bills.
I
The
mean, they
thing is,
dominated
though,
the Jags week of the week.
Bills money line is not favored, so
Really?
take Bills money line as an underdog pick of the week. That's mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Buffalo is showing up in these primetime games, and Baltimore hasn't played 4 quarters of football yet.
Yep.
Pretty pretty fair choice right now.
Another game that will not be going on my television.
Oh.
Titans, Dolphins.
Will Levis masterclass?
Who do you got? I'm taking the Titans, actually.
need that
so-
Really?
Wow.
I am taking the Titans. I just really don't think the Dolphins are.
Hey, you forget who the Dolphins are starting at quarterback now. Tyler Huntley. He was in the Pro Bowl the one year Lamar got hurt on the Ravens, and he was the backup. And he made the. Obviously, that was a
didn't
year
see
where
that.
like
That's good.
5 of the
information.
other
Great
quarterbacks in
comms
front
right
of
there.
him
That's
were
great
like, "Hey,
comms.
I'm not doing it." I think, give me the Dolphins. I'm also coping because I don't want the Jaguars to be the only unwin team.
0-4 team.
Yeah.
Even though I think they're winning. I also think Miami's winning.
Sure.
Yeah, I like Miami here. It's a no-brainer for me. I hate Will Levis as a quarterback. I mean, I love Miami.
Yeah. The Seattle Seahawks against Detroit. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions. I almost said Tigers because they're so hot.
Do I go Seahawks? Do I
No,
dare go
you
Seahawks?
don't.
Make up your choice.
I'm
We
not.
gotta
I'm
get our
going
TD out of
Lions.
here.
I'm going Lions.
I'm going Lions as well. I don't like Geno Smith.
Yeah.
I'm going Seahawks. I like the
Checks out.
Seahawks here. I really
Alright.
do.
Well,
All righty. Well, is that all of them?
that was the
that
B
was all
Team
of 'em.
Sports podcast today, September 25th, 2024.
And you guys saw it live.
Yeah.
You guys, yeah.
So
All-
you guys do get a sneak peek at this podcast.
yeah,
eh?
right.
Oh,
All,
it's
all
coming out-
5
it's-
listeners
It's coming out midnight,
tonight
right?
at midnight. So
Tonight at midnight?
So it'll be out for anyone who wasn't able to watch the live show, but it was really fun.
Shout
And
out-
to do something like this.
shout out to Tyler Erlinson in the chat saying Sam Darnold for MVP. That's
not
not
wrong.
happening.
He's
It's
not
not
wrong.
happening.
I love it. I love it, Tyler.
But, you know, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for watching the live stream especially. We'll be back here same time next week.
Yep.
Before we end it, though, make sure you guys are checking out our socials. We are on Instagram, we are on TikTok, and obviously we're on YouTube and Spotify.
And we should be on Twitter. We got to get that.
We got to make a
Yeah,
Twitter
we
soon.
Got to
Yeah,
get
Twitter.
something up there.
So-
We'll figure something out. But
Yeah, thank you guys for watching again. It was fun. Same time next week.
Yeah.
perfect.